我们请，那我们就请这个，最远的，最远的，我们请这个Kerimcan，首先表达他的这个想法。Summary.
I don't know whether I'm in a position to really give any suggestions to directly to this particular art scene, but I can talk about maybe potentially what I think is beneficial in an art fair specifically. I think one of the things that's really needed, and something that I've kind of noticed through my dialogue with other international galleries here, is there's always the advantage that I don't care where you are in the world, people are always afraid to ask questions. Collectors specifically, because it's a sign of weakness. When a fair will go about, and this is something that we just had in discussion with my dear friend Ruoh as well, it's really necessary to have a good guided journey through this fair. So my best advice would be good, curated, well-designed, well-thought-out, good walkthroughs through the fairs are very important. I learned quite a lot today. I'm very glad that I was able to attend, and thank you very much again for inviting me, because this gives me an opportunity to really understand. And it's also kind of weird to find out that we're really talking about so much of the same problems. What you said about this state of the wild, wild west feeling, it's a term that I've described many times when looking at the Turkish scene. There's no laws, no regulations. There's an imbalance in power. And so it both makes me happy and unhappy. I'm happy to see that we're all kind of feeling similar concerns. But I'm sorry to see that there is still such a strange imbalance in the structure.
Okay. Actually, I just want to comment further on the imbalance of the structure. In fact, apart from this wild, wild west thing, so it's sort of, and coming from like Southeast Asia, which always seen as, considered as a, not by us of course, but poorer cousin, let's say to the contemporary Chinese scene or the Western scene. So it seems that sometimes there's also even an internal insecurity within Southeast Asia. So you typically hear of, for instance, in Indonesia, over the last 2 years, you'll be like, oh, so-and-so from Gagosian has come, you know. Oh, so-and-so from White Cube has come, you know. And so it's, I give an example. I mean, like this, just a month ago, I was at Sotheby's preview. And I was studying the Southeast Asian preview. So obviously, I mean, I know many people, I know, you know, everyone, right? And there was in the dashing, good-looking white person from, gee, am I going to say it? From Gagosian. and you know, and we say hi, and so I have 2 collectors with me, and even a very young junior specialist of Sotheby's. And I just felt, I don't have any insecurity, I really don't, and I felt that they all look at him and said, hey, what do you think? What do you think of this collection this time? And then he typically sending it like in the art sort of environment, he, you know, obviously can start talking and start rattling off very bombastic words of the words on the wall. To me, that moment encapsulates a kind of like a sort of, if you like, some kind of inferiority complex, you know. I think we have to be confident enough to talk about our art. And we constantly want to say that a lot of art is being put in the context, and people need to understand the context. And it doesn't just happen overnight, you know. And there is this imbalance, and this is one reason why the art stage thing was such a controversy in Singapore and in Southeast Asia particularly, because the Singapore government does want Singapore to be the hub of the Southeast Asian Center. Now, having said that, and the next thing people come to mind is that, oh, they're going to compete with Hong Kong. No, we don't want to compete with Hong Kong. We can't. I mean, it's like Taipei Art Fair, right? I mean, if Hong Kong Art Fair is your target, then I think it's just not going to happen on many levels, not just because this is a poorer place, right? In fact, Taiwan is one place that I find you find so many accomplished individuals for the industry. Like if a gallery wants to hire someone, if auction houses want to hire someone, you find trained people immediately, which you don't really necessarily find so in other countries. But that's why when the art stage things comes about, and the Singapore government did put in effort in promoting this art stage, which, by the way, is a profit enterprise, excuse me, and creating all this controversy and the questions of promoting Indonesian art in Singapore, etc., etc. And for someone from the outside coming to us and telling you that, hey, you guys, you're not good enough, you don't know how to do your work, you know, listen to me. I mean, the very questions that for an art fair to even stand there and pick up who are the best Indonesian artists, and our question that again is like, what gives you the right? Seriously, you know, and for him to come and say to me that, oh, we have consulted and talked to the renowned collectors from Indonesia, what, 5 of them? 10 of them? I mean, I'm not doing a sort of individual sort of criticism, not at all. I'm just saying that this is just one incident, and typically they will have, for instance, a Western curators who have, let's say, Tate Modern on the resume. Does that mean that they are in a better position to look at the art from this part of the world? So, to comment on the imbalance of things and to answer the questions on the Art Taipei, I think at the end of the day, like in any sort of art thing, creativity and the uniqueness is important factors. And I think if Taipei Art Fair can provide something and people could sort of relate to it, because you can only get it in Taipei, and I think that will be very successful and people will travel all the way to come. Yeah.
谢谢，我听懂了，大家应该也听到了啊。那么 ，please。
I don't have many ideas to promote your art fair, but I want to give some very realistic idea to promote our Asian art fairs. Well, in art fair, most important thing is the quality of galleries. So your organization have to control the very detailed the quality of the galleries and their artists. And I want to recommend another one is the publication of the art market report. Well, in France, the company Art Price published the contemporary art market report occasion to the beginning of the fair. And in Germany, they published the 100 artist list occasion the Köln Art Fair. So if we approach it with a very realistic strategy to give some information, and we can get more collectors here.
都是重点，对，提升这个画廊的品质，然后再请来更多的这个收藏家。那么，事实上，大家都很客气的对我们这个建议。事实上，那个龚小姐刚刚提到的是，台湾应该有台湾自己的风格啊。那么，去发现各个这个台湾自己的好的艺术家，呈现这个更好的一个艺术家的发展， 然后呢，邀请具有好的质量的这些画廊来到台湾参加这个国际艺术博览会，保有自己的风格，但是提升自己的品质，应该是一个我们期待要做到的。好，那么各位要是没有有问题吗？要是please。
Thank you. The criticism against Singapore Art Fair bypassing the galleries and showing basically primary market works directly could also be levied against auction houses. As far as I know, when Sotheby's did its first contemporary Turkish art sale in London, they basically brought new works, wet paintings, as you put it. What's your take on that?
Actually, I'm personally involved because I did take in wet painting too. and that is why when I put up the quotation from the art stage and their rationale, I agree that with the current situations, sometimes traditional roles of fairs and auction houses, well, I won't comment on fairs because I was auction houses then. It's a little bit sort of like different. I like to think I did it responsibly by, it was never from the artist directly, it was always deal with an agent, and we did sort of increase exposure greatly, and I try to pace it up with each term. So you don't have it in every season, and you try to get the better words and a very reasonable and responsible estimates to do something which is, I agree, very unconventional, you know. And I could tell you that each time when it happens, I always feel very insecure because I know we can't do what the dealers could do. We can do it. It's a very short-term, highlighted, full of line-like victory. But the career of the artist, the development is not something that I can replace. And it's a conversation that we're constantly having with the dealers, the artists, etc. I mean, I feel that I have done that when I was having the position to do that. What I do oppose is a very irresponsible, of course, this is a very relative term, of throwing in names just to fill up the figures, which is happening all the time. And that is why I think the tool in itself, like auction house or the art fairs, galleries, etc., they are quite neutral things. But being in the art market, when you have individuals with personality involved, and then it becomes sort of much more complex. Did I answer your questions? I hope. Thank you.
Very complicated. 事实上，艺术市场要去选择这个明星，或者是选择一个，有许多人把这个明星当成一个筹码来看啊。其实我们一直在讲说，这个价值不等于价格啊。但是偏偏现在我们碰到很大的问题，在台湾就是厂家会问说，他有没有拍卖记录？他有没有拍卖记录？变得非常重要。我觉得这个艺术家不错，我也买了好几张，我也看了他发展好几年，但是他没有拍卖记录。所以这个价格不等于价值的情况之下，那这个性价比如何判断啊，是非常复杂的一个过程。我觉得这个里面可以讲很久了。那么给大家一个启发，让大家去了解。我想这个就是一个做功课的一个差别。如何押堆宝，这个是大家都想知道的。所以在艺术市场，在各地，今天我看完了以后，我都发现好像都是相通的啊，还是那两句：千金难买早知道，行情总是在怀疑中飙涨。好，那么今天谢谢三位这个主讲人啊，也谢谢各位的这个收听，这个希望大家都能够喜爱艺术，然后在里面找到自己的一种方法，然后但是多结交一些人脉关系啊，跟专家们聊聊天，问问收藏家，跟艺术家讨论一下他的艺术创作，我觉得会帮你在性价比上面的判断是会有帮助的。 谢谢大家，谢谢，谢谢。